Hi, here I am. This is Audrey Sussman from beautiful Costa Rica. I'm at the Writers Retreat, working with writers, doing hypnosis. And I just got an email today from a person who found my website. And her question was, why, when a person has not experienced anxiety, would all of a sudden anxiety and fear pop into their life? So let me see if I can answer that question for you. I'm in my very relaxed mode. I just got off the beach about a few hours ago, and I have a moment now before dinner. So here's what I think. I think that people who have anxiety that pops into our life, we have a predisposition to it. It's something that maybe lies dormant for many, many, many years. But when the pressures of life build up, they come out sort of like when you think those old pressure cookers, they have that little thing that goes ch-ch-ch-ch-ch. Panic and anxiety is just part of our body trying to get rid of some of the pressures. So it's actually a protective device. Now, it feels terrible. It feels like it's ruining your life. But I think the underlying part of the unconscious mind, why it's sending the panic, is to kind of release some pressure. So let's look at where some of those pressures might come from. Many people who have anxiety are people who like to please others. We don't like to say no. We don't like to fight. We say, oh, it's not worth fighting about. And unfortunately, we still have the emotions. So the emotions get pushed down, and they start to build up. You can look at it, I usually say you can think of it as a string of pearls, and each pearl all the way back collects on this string until the string gets so heavy that the body just can't take it anymore, and that's when the panic comes out. But as I was working here, one of my writing students who came to me for hypnosis said, I like to think of it, I was talking to her about a river with rocks in the river. And she said, you know, I like the idea of rocks rather than pearls. So as I was thinking about that, I was thinking, yeah, why don't we think of each event of upset as another rock on the timeline of your life. So when the rocks get too heavy, some pressure has to be released. Now, you don't have to continue to have panic. There are ways to release it. One of my favorite ways to release it is we go back to where it began, and hypnotically we go above it, we look down, we heal whatever has happened there, and then it's almost as if we take the knot at the end of the string and we pull it out, and all those rocks or all those pearls just drop away. Now when they drop away, it could be incidents or emotions of sadness, it could be anger that has been repressed, it can be fear, it could be shame, guilt. These are all natural emotions that people have. When you release that and the rocks fall away, it's like taking a suitcase off the back. All of a sudden you feel like you can breathe again. The other thing that since I'm working with writers are amazing writing scripts. These are screenplay writers. And what I've noticed is working with them is they all, when I do individual work, their metaphors are amazing. So a person who is working with sadness, let's say, might go back in time, and as I always say, we don't have to believe in before past lives, but they might go back to a previous life and have a metaphor there that has to be fixed, or an event of older self, many lifetimes ago, who needs some help. And it doesn't matter where we fix the problem of sadness, shame, anger, guilt. The further back we go, it's just the way our unconscious puts it on the timeline. So in our present life, there's enough things that we can look at to heal. I had someone go back to birth this week. Many times in the last 30 years working with people, I've had people go back to the birthing experience where the child inside is feeling confused, sad, and we fix that hypnotically. And the way we do that, it's kind of like rewriting a script, but not doing it from the head. We do it from the core, from fixing the emotions. So let me get back to the question and answer it again. So why all of a sudden would anxiety pop into someone's life? The reason is when things get too heavy, too many emotions get repressed or pushed down, there needs to be a release. And the anxiety that seems to come for no reason, it doesn't seem like it makes sense. Why should you be afraid of flying, or fear of standing in line at a supermarket, or such terrible anxiety about speaking in public? Well, it's the way the body is trying to tell you there's something to look at, something to pay attention to. So whatever the symptom is, I call it the tip of the iceberg. That's just the top. That's just the tip of the iceberg. Underneath is where the real problem lies. So we don't want to just grab out the symptom. It's kind of like if you are driving in a car and the warning light goes on for the engine oil. You don't just go to the mechanic and say, hey, take that light out. No, you have him look at what's underneath the symptom of the engine light. Well, with human beings, it's the same thing. We don't want to just take a medication and cover up the symptom, because then something else is going to happen. We need to go underneath the tip or the symptom to the root of where this is really coming from. So the important thing is that we can heal anxiety. So the two things I believe is that we all, those of us who have panic disorder, do have a predisposition. And when things get pressure enough, that's when the panic comes out. And also that it is the body's way of releasing some anxiety and tension. So I see people are getting ready to go to dinner, and I hope that this is helpful. Keep sending in your questions, and I'll do my best to answer them as I have time here in Costa Rica. And you can find the answers at anxietycontrolcenter.com under my posts.